Can you see everything? I think you can. Where can I hide my notes? Maybe there? Yeah, that's good. Okay, hi. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Andrea, and today we're talking about these big boys all around me. Who doesn't like that? So really there is so many plants that you can pick from, and it comes down to, do you want to buy big or do you want to buy small? What plants make the most sense that will fit in your space based on how big they are, and really what's all the hype of all the big plants. So I'm surrounded by all the big plants in my house. I made sure I kind of had them coming all around me and hugging me, holding me close, and I don't want you to underestimate how big they are. So big plants come with big responsibilities. So let's talk about it. To be honest, it was hard to get them to all fit here. So I kind of shimmied a few things around to make it work. But really, what is the hype about all these big plants? And really, is it worth it for your space? Because of course, when you're looking at a big plant at a store or online, it comes with a bigger price tag. You're thinking, hey, how much more often am I going to have to water this? What are the watering needs of this? How will it grow in the long run, right? If it's already started off big, is it going to grow up, right? Is it going to grow out, like get bushy? So is it going to take up more room? And really, where is the space you want to put it in? These are all important factors in determining, first off, if a big plant's going to fit your space, as well as what big plants. So let's talk about what big plants will fit your space, and I'll show you the ones I have. So first off, there's a lot of benefits to buying big up front. So remember that these plants have been growing for a long time already. There are some fast growers, there's some slow growers, and that's what I think should start with you determining if it makes sense to buy big up front or maybe wait for it to grow at home. So the fast growers, like let's say something like the Sansevieria here. So let's adjust the camera just a little bit for us. Beep, 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 beep. Oh no, I don't want you to see my real life over there. To get on the ground a lot more often than I thought. So if you look at this beautiful Sansevieria Sayuri, S-Y-R-U-R-I, I did buy this boy pretty big. I consider it a rare Sansevieria, and it does come with bluish, green, white hues in its leaves. So very, very succulent plant, very hardy, and theoretically should grow upright. So I bought this one big just because I wanted it to fill a space. So if you have a corner of your home that you're really looking to add some weight to, or you have nothing in the in your newly decorated or newly bought or newly rented apartment, and you're like, dang, I don't want to have too much crap in my house, but I want something stable, get a big plant like a Sansevieria. So this Sansevieria does, like I said, theoretically grow upright. I broke it actually bringing it down here, so I'll just kind of break that off, and hey, I will put this baby in water. I always like to grow more of these. But anyway, so this Sansevieria I did like to put into an upright pot that has some legs on it. Let's show you those too. Voila, sorry, my window's open. Maybe I can move this for you. There you go. And I did keep it in its nursery pot. So it's been living in its nursery pot forever and a day. So until it starts bursting out the bottom, I keep it in there, and especially if I want to change out the pot. So on the Sansevieria, it's a relatively inexpensive plant, even regardless which one you get. If you get one that's a little bit more rare, expect to pay a little bit more up front, but they've been growing for a long time. Yeah, they're a little bit of a fast grower, but you can get one just to kind of put it as a staple in the corner of your home somewhere, excuse me. But also, if you don't want to get it big up front, I wouldn't say the Sansevieria is absolutely necessary to buy big, just because they are pretty quick growers. It's trying to get on me right there. And you can get them relatively inexpensively as maybe like in a medium-sized pot to like an 8-inch is considered probably big, but this is a 10-inch pot this one's in. But I think this one's not necessarily worth getting big. But if you do, just know that you want to kind of add it as one big staple item. It doesn't need to have other plants around it. It just does the beauty on its own. So I'm a huge fan of the Sansevieria, and let's move on to the next one. Make this go quicker. So the next one that might be worth kind of buying big, or at least a consideration for you, is the Schefflera, the umbrella tree, or the umbrella plant, whatever you want to call it. And this one I did inherit. It's such a beautiful plant, and all plants live forever, right? So what is this line I got going on here? hold on one second. It's a relatively easy plant to find and relatively inexpensive. And what I would tell you about this one is it can accumulate quite a bit of dust. So when you have bigger plants, expect that you'll be misting them or wiping them down with a wet paper towel or a wet cloth a little bit more often, and that will be good for their health. It's like taking a shower. You'll want to get them all clean. Since they've been out there for a long time, you might want to even clean it right when you get it home. Here's my other one right here. What's funny about both these is I was never really attracted to these plants. Oh, and here's a little ZZ that we'll talk about in a second. Get you closer to me. But they were actually both inherited to me. So the previous owner of this home actually left me this plant. She heard that I was plant obsessed when I was looking at her house, and she left it. So because they're so big to move. So that's the trouble with big plants. If you already get them big and you hold them for a few years, they're gonna get even bigger. So with the Schefflera, what you can expect is it doesn't grow upwards, it actually grows outwards. So they'll need a trim from time to time. So this one I've actually trimmed down several times, actually 2 times, not several, just 2 times, and propagated this plant a few times. It's easy to do, but it was just getting so big. It started taking up a little bit more space than I wanted it to, but I also didn't have the heart to move it out of its current space. So instead of just living with it, you can cut them down a little bit, but just know that they do grow out. They get bushy. It's a big bush, and they're going to take up a lot of room. So, and of course, they're going to be a little bit more difficult to water as time goes on, these type of plants specifically, just because they are like a bush. So I like to look in there, but not too closely because it has been not maintained. There's a lot of dead leaves in there, but you want to water it thoroughly, of course. But the nice news about big plants is you won't have to water as often. So the plant has a lot more soil in there that it can retain that water for a lot longer. So you won't have to water as often, even if it's in a sunny spot. And this is where a moisture meter is going to really come into play, because the moisture meter is going to help you determine, hey, did I need to water this plant or do I not need to water this plant? Because with big plants, you're not going to lift it up just to feel how heavy it is. You need to get the tools and equipment to get it done. I think this one's worth buying relatively big, but really a lot of plants depending on your space. It all comes down to your space, people. Don't underestimate how big you think they are, because if you have a smaller space, a 1-bedroom apartment, 700 square feet or whatever, wherever you're living in the world, really one or 2 big plants might be all you need. This bad boy, wow. I mean, can you just enjoy this with me? Totally buy this big. Okay, they've been growing for a long time. As you see, this one is starting to have some new growth come into play. They're relatively easy care plants. I can't say they're super easy care. I do struggle with them in terms of, I don't have most easy care plants. I struggle with these the most because they need constant watering or consistent watering because their leaves are so thin. But the bigger the plant, the less often you have to water. So for this one, I actually owned several of them. I do have a little one over here too that I'm pretty sure I've shown before, but they're slow growers. I can't lie. I actually expect them to grow a lot quicker. So if you can buy them big up front, they're bushy. They do grow a little bit more upright, but they can get a little bushier. I threw this baby in a basket, and really the price was right on how big this was and what you're getting for it. So I would definitely recommend a dumb cane. I think this is the Maryanne. I'll write it down. But buying it big just feels so liberating, just because I don't have to wait. I don't have to wait. And this is the Magic Star. So this one I did buy not in a tree form, and I bought it a lot smaller. So what's interesting about the fiddle leaf figs is, of course, they were like the it plant for several years. But I think people are discovering more and more as they purchase them that they're super finicky, hard to take care of, really prone to disease and pests, and really need a lot of maintenance. They're kind of a high maintenance plant, because the bigger the leaves are on any plant, the more you're going to have to maintain it, because more dust settles on it. It's more prone to have anything on it. And oh, there's a bug right there. And you have to wipe them down and really be a little bit more diligent. And the more plants you have, the less likely you're going to take the time to do that. But with the fiddle leaf fig, they do come in tree form, which is absolutely beautiful. And those were all over nurseries on Pinterest when I was looking there, as well as you go over to a local store and you're like, man, that is beautiful. Is that real? And you're like, oh my goodness, this is like relatively low light and this is a real tree in this house. So this you can buy in a tree form or you can buy it in a bush form. So for this one, I did buy it in a bush form, and I bought it from I want to say Sam's Club or Costco, and it was like 15, 20 bucks, maybe 25 bucks, I don't know. But it was way smaller, and I'm like, wow, fiddle leaf figs are costing way more than this. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to invest the time, not the money, and I'm so glad I did. Because as you can see, this one has been shooting out quite a bit of new growth. Right here, all the newer leaves look a lot cleaner, a lot brighter than the rest of the mature ones. And it's beautiful. What is nice about it is it does grow upright, so it doesn't have to start taking up more room this way, but this will not really end up being a tree. It's gonna stay in a bush. I could actually prune off the bottom leaves as I'd like, just because they'll be more mature, they'll get old with time, that I could make it more into a tree form. But I've loved it how it looked, how it's been looking. I did have it outside this summer, and I had a video with it. Oh, that's a new one too. But really, you can buy it big. The price is not right, I don't think. Especially now that you can find them everywhere, since once a plant's popular, you can be patient enough and you'll start seeing it everywhere. But they're finicky. They are a finicky plant. They're of course beautiful, but oh, I actually have one more. I'll show you the other one I have too. Ah, voila! So here's the other one I have. So I never actually invested in the tree form for the Ficus Lyrata. I just never thought it was worth it. So this is actually a tree form, a small one that will grow into a big tree. And I thought I won't throw the money at it. So I don't think this one's worth buying big, but you can argue me all you want, I guess. So this is a Ficus Benjamina, or a weeping fig, if you want to call it that. That's like its most standard name. I'll get a better view of it in a second. But what I love about this is I did buy it in tree form. I actually invested in it. I'm going to have it right behind that chair I was sitting on, so it's kind of getting overcrowded by these other plants. But usually I actually have it standing alone, and it's a beautiful anchor for the corner of the room. But really, if you're looking for a tree, okay, an indoor tree, you do want to buy it big up front, because it's been in its pot for a long time already. It's been growing for several years already in its greenhouse, and trees are, I mean, as you see, trees do take a long time to grow, so it's worth the investment, I would say. And this one I did really want, and I was reluctant because I heard that they don't acclimate well to new spaces, and it's true. When I brought this baby home, it did shed a lot of its leaves, which I guess is normal. It's as it's acclimating to a new spot, it's going to lose some leaves. And I found right away that, okay, I gotta babysit you for a little while. Let me find out where you like to sit, and let's make sure I can show off your beauty, because it's worth the investment, right, for this one. So what I did right away is make sure I was shaking it to get all the dead leaves off. And from time to time, I'm sitting on my computer and I could just hear a leaf fall, and it's kind of romantic in some ways because it does grow more. So as you see, they come in a lot shinier than where they are as they mature, because they dust. So this one you could probably throw in your shower, or I guess in the summertime, bring it outside and hose it down. It could take it because it's a tree. I should actually totally do that, but I love it. I think it was totally worth getting in a tree form, and you should too. Okay, thanks for bearing with me as we explored all these beautiful indoor plants that you could buy big up front and see if it's worth it. What I would say in summary is the ones that are totally worth buying big are the trees, right? Like if you want to get yourself a weeping fig or a marginata, Dracaena marginata, those are worth buying big, as well as the dumb cane right back here. Those are totally worth it up front for a few different reasons. Of course, for the big trees, like I said, it just took forever for them to get where they are. They are slow growers, as well as for the Dieffenbachia, the dumb cane, the price is right on it, and you can have a beautiful big plant up front. The rest of them, you can really take it or leave it, just depending on your space. A Sansevieria is always big, or not, it's always worth buying big or small. They're just awesome all around. So thank you so much for watching my video. Subscribe, tell me if you love it, tell me what questions you have, what I said wrong. I'm learning and really looking for a community that shares in this love. So thank you so much. I hope to talk to you again. Bye.